Hello guys. It has been approximately 2 seconds since the last recording of the Traitors, but you're seeing this a whole day later. So, recap time. Well, we are going to be jumping straight into episode 2 of the Traitors series 3. I'm super excited. We've got a brand new cast of now 21 contestants, and they are all at the round table waiting to vote for the first time. It's a nervous, nerve-wracking experience for all of them. I'm very excited to see who they vote out. And the good thing is, we've got 2 vote outs today. 2. And we're going to be saying goodbye to roughly 3 people? 2 people? 3 people. Yes, it's 3 people in this episode. So, without much further ado, let us get straight into the episode and find out who's getting banished. So, that's right. It's the return of voting time, and we are going to be talking through each and every person's vote. Nathan obviously started with Linda, fairly standard. That's who he had accused at the round table. Fair. Charlotte goes for Keith. That was a rogue pick. Maya goes for Anna. Okay. That was a rogue one as well. Kasim goes for Nathan. Ellen goes for Linda. Jake goes for Linda. Anna goes for Nathan. Mina goes for Livy for some obscure reason. I don't know why. That was just a random vote. Leanne goes for Charlotte. Leon goes for Francesca. I didn't even know there was a Francesca until there was a vote for her. Dan voted for Nathan. Linda voted for Jake. That was a rogue one. Oh no, Linda voted for Jake because Jake voted for her. Yeah, that's fair. Livy voted for Ellen. Again, rogue. Keith voted for Nathan. Tyler voted for Linda. Fran voted for Nathan. Joe voted for Nathan. Lisa voted for Charlotte. Freddie voted for Ellen. Armani voted for Nathan. And Alex voted for Nathan. So that means 8 out of 21 votes. That's all it took. Just over a third of the votes. And he is going home. That's kind of shocking, I can't lie. But it's because he didn't give enough away during the day. He was a very enigmatic character. Didn't really know much about him. And then he comes out and accuses Linda. It just felt mistimed and misplaced. And also, his accusations didn't feel like they came from a genuine place. Like, Jake at least had that little bit of like, oh, you looked at this time. And it felt like Nathan jumped onto it. But alas, he was banished and he revealed himself to be a faithful, obviously. He wasn't a traitor. Kind of shook everyone up. They were like, oh my god, this is crazy. And I was like, yeah, fairs. So essentially, we're moving into the nighttime. Another person is getting murdered. So I was very interested to see who they would pick. And obviously, who it would come down to. So let's head into Traitor Turret time. So their 3 picks were Keith, Leanne, and Freddie. Now, Keith, obviously, they want to kind of pin it on Charlotte. Charlotte voted for him at the round table, so killing him would put some heat on her. And I was like, that's a really dumb way of thinking, surely. Because why would Charlotte vote for him at the round table and accuse him of being a traitor and then kill him that night? How would that make her look guilty? I don't understand. Unless it was like the perfect double bluff. I don't understand the traitor's thinking of that would make her look suspicious. Because in my mind, that makes you look innocent. The fact that you accuse him of murder, of traitoring, but he wasn't actually the traitor because he got murdered. That just doesn't add up to me. That wasn't a viable strategy in my head, but whatever. Then we had Leanne. We feel like she can sway power. And I was like, yeah, I feel like she is very talkative. She's got a good group around her. And there's a little trio going on with her, Freddie, and Maya. And obviously Maya was off the cards because Armani's like, I'm not killing my sister yet. Then the last pick was Freddie. Now we got some fantastic shower shots of him. Fantastic. Whatever producer decided to include them, A for effort. But obviously they're trying to think, should we get rid of him because it's going to be a bit of a heartbreaking one? He's not going to get voted out because he's too sweet and innocent. And therefore, should we take him out now so that people are like, oh my god, why would they get rid of him? They need to cause some chaos. They took out a smart person night 1. They need to cause a little bit of chaos with this next one in order to really throw everybody off. Why would they get rid of that person? The person that it makes sense for me to get rid of would be Leanne. That's the smart one. Because it's almost like a, oh, wait, what? Why Leanne? That's an odd one. just a little thing to think about in the future. But alas, we have to find out what happened at breakfast. So breakfast rolls around and Maya is very suspicious of her sister. She's like, I don't know. She's moving mad, you know. She's moving a little bit sus. She's having a little bit of a mare. I don't know what's going on, but she's just doing the most, and I don't know how it's panning out. So I thought that was very interesting. Ellen seemed very, very relieved to be alive. I think she thought she was going to die because of her "there's more females than males" comment, and it would be some kind of like retribution. I don't know. I don't really understand why she thought that. It seemed a little bit odd, personally. But either way, sure. But then that made Livy and Anna kind of suspicious of her, and they weren't entirely sure where they stood with her. Is she suspicious? Is she not suspicious? We're not sure. Then it was revealed that, very sadly, Keith had been murdered. Now, if you remember, Keith is the man that lied about liking spaghetti bolognese for 30 years. This man is a seasoned liar, and he could have been fantastic if given more time. I genuinely was actually quite upset when they killed him off. I think Leanne was the smart pick, but I do feel like they need to start killing off some men, so it does seem like it's more male dominated in the tower than it is female dominated. If they keep killing females off, going to leave them with very slim pickings when it comes to who to kill off next, especially when it comes to like killing females off potentially. It's just strategy in my head. I think I'd whittle down the men a little bit first and make it look like there's a man that's like trying to take out his opponents kind of thing. I don't know, something along those lines. So we have some more just interesting things about people before we head into the mission. And one of the things that Tyler wanted us to know is that he is a bird watcher. And he was like, oh, I've never had a girlfriend before. And I was like, that doesn't surprise me, I can't lie. You did say that your top interests are bird watching, crosswords. Don't get me wrong, I love a crossword. And what was the other thing he said? He said I'm an old soul. And I get that. But you do sound miserably boring, I can't lie. You do. You didn't sell yourself very well, friend. I'm sure you're lovely. And I'm sure we'd have a great time on a night out. But you didn't sell yourself well when you went, I love bird watching. I haven't got that in common. Not many girls have that in common under the age of 70. So maybe you could get with Linda or the other one, Lisa. Is that the other lady? I think that's her name. You get with those girls. They love a bit of bird watching. But if you want someone your own age, they're probably not going to want to go bird watching with you. Next up, we had Mina asking Charlotte about the whole relaxed comment. Mina is playing a very interesting game as the traitor. We've got Armani loud in your face. We've got Linda, who is already sort of under suspicion, is trying to like worm her way out of it. Mina, she's chilling. She's vibing. She's doing well. Not a single person thinks that she is possibly the traitor. Nobody has brought her name up. They're all just vibing with her. And she's doing a great job of playing the sort of like card where it's sort of like, I don't know what's going on, but like, oh my god, what's happening here? This is crazy. This is, oh my god, this is so crazy. She's playing that card so well. And confronting Charlotte in this way was very smart for her because it shows that she has valid suspicions. That's the one thing that traitors often fall down on, is when they're like, okay, who do you think it is? And they're like, It sometimes just gets a little bit awkward. But Mina's got Charlotte as someone that she can be like, I think it's Charlotte because of XYZ. And she has valid reasons to back it up. The whole relaxed comment. The fact that, like, she just is a little bit sketchy. And there were times in that whole conversation when Charlotte was getting hysterical that the accent went out the window. And I was like, this woman is so lucky that no one's really paying attention to how she's saying words. Because, my god, I'd have clocked that immediately. I clocked it when she said it. I was like, where did your accent go, my lovely? Where did it go? I don't know why I'm in Bristol now. But yeah. I just thought that was a very, very interesting moment. And I had to note it down. I was like, did she drop the accent? I don't know. It might have just been a couple of words that didn't sound Welsh. Because by the end of the conversation, she was back into the Welsh. But yeah, she was dropping that accent. My lovely, don't do an accent unless you can do it properly. So the mission was okay, actually. I didn't hate it. I didn't take that many notes. I will have to be honest. I kind of just noted down the particulars. And we can talk about the suspicions from the challenge afterwards. But the basics were there were crates around. Some of them had money. Some of them had gunpowder. The money, they obviously wanted to build the cash fund, and then the gunpowder, if they managed to collect 500 kilograms of it, which is a fucking lot of kilograms, okay? That's a lot of kilograms. If they managed to get 500 kilograms of gunpowder, then they'd be able to topple the traitor statue, and that means that there would be no murder tonight. Did I like this twist? Not particularly. I like when there is a murder every night, and I feel like it should have been the armory is open and people can get a shield kind of thing. Even though I hate the random deciding, I prefer people to be able to like go out of their way in a challenge to get the shield, or have a challenge that is for the shield so you can see who's trying hard and who's trying not so hard. But I did feel like completely wiping off the murder was a step too far in my opinion. It was a little bit like, ooh, you've already got a lot of people. How are you planning to get rid of all these people in 12 episodes and leaving 5 people for the finale? It just felt a little bit too much. And I hope, beyond hope, that they don't do this every single challenge. I hope it's just for the first challenge. Because to be fair, we have already lost 6 people. Have we lost 6 people? 3. Yeah, so we've already lost 6 people out of 25. So we're down to 19. By the end of this episode, we'll be on 18. So I feel like we've done good to cull the herd already. But this did just feel like it was a little bit unfair for the traitors. Especially when there's only 3 of them and then everybody else is really trying hard to do it. They did manage to topple the statue, which means that there is not going to be a murder tonight. So there's actually fuck all to talk about at the end. But there is actually one interesting thing that we do need to talk about. But yeah, the challenge was alright. They managed to raise £6,000. I was about to say dollars then, but this is England. And yeah, there's no murder now. Interesting. We'll see how that goes. One very interesting thing before we head into the round table was Tyler and Kaz believing that Armani could potentially be a traitor. Now, Kaz noticed during the challenge that Armani was just a bit shit at answering the questions to the padlocks, and therefore, could that be her just being a bit dippy, a bit stupid? Or is that tactical from a traitor? Now, obviously, we know that it's because she's a traitor, but I think they were kind of wrestling with it, and they were planning on setting a trap for her. Now, this trap hasn't fully come into fruition yet, so I'm planning on giving them the benefit of the doubt and seeing where this goes. But I always find it a little bit interesting when they're planning on trapping a player, because how do you trap a player? So this round table was a little bit more chaotic than the first, purely because people are now clutching for straws. They voted out one faithful, and now it's just balls to the walls. Fuck it. You'd make a good traitor. That's the argument that came up a couple of times. And I was like, for fuck's sake, man. For fuck's sake, man. Start thinking strategically. Stop being like, oh, you'd make a good traitor. Everyone does. That's why you've been cast on this fucking show. Anyway, Mina obviously started by dropping the Charlotte relaxed comment. And Kaz was asked, okay, who do you think it is? And he was like, oh, I think it's Charlotte because she has good qualities to be a traitor. And I was like, Kaz, you're fucking me up here. You're just annoying. It's annoying already. We're literally 2 episodes into this series and you're already like, oh, you'd make a good traitor. Like, shut up. It's done. And then, obviously, Charlotte is, like, defending herself. And I also thought this as well. And Ellen kind of picked up on it and was like, oh, no. Was it Ellen or was it Leanne? I think it might have been Leanne actually said this. But Charlotte went, I thought I talked, and then cut herself off. And then she went, oh, I thought I addressed this yesterday. And I was like, oh, was she about to say, I thought I talked myself out of this one? I was like, that's very interesting. I didn't see that one coming. I was like, oh, She almost had a slip of the tongue there. But it's one of those unfortunate slip of the tongues because she's actually got nothing to hide. She is a faithful, but she's kind of just shooting herself in the foot. And they called her out on that. They were like, were you about to say that you talked yourself out of that one? She was like, no, I was about to say, like, I talked about it yesterday. But it just felt weird that she cut herself off mid-sentence as if she was going to say that and then decided, no, that sounds suspicious, and then sort of circled back and said it in a different way. I was like, ooh, that's interesting. But then Charlotte obviously turns it back on Kaz. She's like, you've got a good bedside manner, you're a doctor, so, like, clearly you'd be able to be nice to people but then stab them in the back. And I was like, okay, you're at least applying a little bit of knowledge to the you have good qualities to make a traitor. I was like, at least you've got, like, some reasoning behind that, not just like, oh, you'd be the perfect traitor. Yappa, whatever. Then Joe is like, yo, Kaz, when we were talking earlier, or when we were discussing XYZ, you had a little glimmer in your eyes of panic. Little glimmer. It was at the breakfast table, I think. When they raised a toast or something like that? He just said you had a glimmer of panic in your eyes. And I was like, ooh, interesting. And then all of a sudden, Leanne and Livy come out of nowhere and are like, Ellen, we think it's you. I was like, huh? She was like, you came into breakfast this morning crying. Why is that? Why would you not be happy that you're alive? And she was like, oh, I was just feeling a lot of emotions. And then she started to cry again. And it got a little bit difficult because then Ben and Charlotte were kind of like defending Ellen. And then it just got a little bit awkward. And then that was it. That was the round table done. And I was like, what? You can't possibly end it there. They always end it at the most inopportune of times because it's always like, oh, there's so much more to be said though. I would happily watch a half-an-hour round table of just them back and forward because I think that'd be fascinating to watch. But it's always like cut down for time and I'm always like, oh, get rid of the missions. Just have the round table. That's all I want. That's the best bits of the episode. So we're going to head into voting time. And once again, it was a very, very split vote. And it actually surprised me by how split it was. I didn't know where it was going to go. We were 4 votes in and it was like a couple apiece. There was not really any like trend happening. So we started with Fran and she voted for Cass. We had Joe voting for Cass as well. We had Lisa voting for Frankie. We had Freddie voting for Ellen. We had Armani voting for Charlotte. We had Alex voting for Ellen. We had Charlotte voting for Cass. Maya voting for Ellen. Cass voting for Charlotte. Ellen voting for Linda. Jake voting for Ellen. Anna voting for Ellen. Mina voting for Charlotte. Leanne voting for Charlotte. Leon voting for Ellen. Dan voting for Freddie. Linda voting for Ellen. Livy voting for Ellen. And Tyler voting for Evan. Ellen. Oh my god. Time is running out for me today. But Ellen was discarded from the pile, banished from the castle, never to be seen again. And I kind of felt bad for her because she didn't really do anything wrong. She kind of just made a few missteps, was a little bit too emotional, said that one comment about there being strong females and there being a strong female, and she kind of harped on about the fact that she thought it was Linda. Obviously, she was right. And I just feel like had she had a little bit more time in the castle, she actually could have been dangerous to the traitors. So it's probably actually best that she went out now. But I do think there are some people getting away with absolute murder at the moment. And I'm not just talking about the traitors. So I've got 2 more things to talk about today. Traitors turret and a suspicion. Maya and Alex are a little bit suspicious that Armani could potentially be a traitor, which I find fascinating. Her sister is already sus on her and they can't even kill anybody tonight. I think tonight would have been the perfect time to strike at the sister, but I don't know. Maybe we save her for another night. I don't know, but she does need to go at some point. Then in the Traitors Tower, there was a very awkward moment where Armani basically told Mina and Linda that they need to be more assertive, that they need to do more in the game. And that was like, okay. I feel like Armani's getting a little bit too cocky now. She feels like she owns the traitors. She's the leader. She's the one in charge. And I actually think she's playing the weakest game as the traitor now. I think she's just too much. She's doing too much. She's acting odd. She's moving mad, as her sister would say. Whereas I feel like Linda, The only thing that they've got on her at the moment is that one head turn and a little bit of suspicion elsewhere. Mina, not a single person thinks it's her. But obviously Mina knows that there's quite a lot of people that are throwing suspicion on Marnie's way. And she all but said at the end of the episode, I might just let it happen. I might just see where this goes. And I might just let them kick her out because she could be a detriment to this team. I'm going to do what I need to survive in this game. And actually, I think Mina's going to make it the furthest in this game. Unless she has some monumental fuck up at some point along this journey, I think she's got a good chance of making the final. She just has to play her cards right. And I think she is in the best position to have those connections and to make it all the way. But that is it. The book is closed. I've run out of notes. I wrote about 5 pages of notes for like the first 2 episodes. I was like, oh my God, I've written so much. There's so many notes. But it was very entertaining. I'm super excited to jump into the rest of the series. Make sure to let me know down below if you want me to do US as well. I will be doing either recaps or reacts, depending on what you guys want to see. Because it won't be out in the UK, I think reacts would be better so that you guys can watch along and see what I'm reacting to and what I'm talking about. But obviously, I don't really want to wait until June. I kind of want to do it while the hype is there in America. But either way, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.